Namaskaram. Welcome all to the Upanishads series, Upanishads for All. Today is our 12th session, and successfully we have been driving forward and moving forward every week by week. And today we are going to have a wonderful session from Dr. Venkat Barla on this important topic of Svetasvatara Upanishad for the youth. I will just share a brief screen about Dr. Venkat Barla just give me a second. Very briefly, I'd like to share his profile. Very briefly, he has been very humble enough, and then he's a person who is really driving the entire thing forward. Are you able to see the screen, sir? You're able to see? Okay, great. So Dr. Venkat Barla is the alumnus of NIT Warangal IMA DBA from USA. He has got the industry experience of about 25 years, and in terms of the academics, he's got about 16 years of experience and exposure in the educational industry. Fantastically to note, he has supervised PhD, about 10 of them, and supervised MPhil, roughly about 25 of them, research publications, 35 publications to his credit, which is really fantastic. Of course, he's got the Lifetime Achievement Award as an Ambassador of Peace in the education sector, UNO affiliate Universal Peace Foundation Federation. This award was given through the hands of Dr. Pushpa Bhargav Garu, who is a director of CCMB Hyderabad, and Dr. M. Rajan, ambassador to US, and Dr. Mohini Giri, daughter of VB Giri, ex-president of India. This is very brief profile I'm trying to share as a humble beginning of Dr. Venkat Barla. So he's being very humble in putting it across, but he is the driving force for all through this Upanishads for All series. He's being the driving force in connecting the education industry, the various kind of participants, the august audience, and constantly as a driving force even in our Upanishadic groups. So his kind of a flair is so natural that he thinks from his mind. I would say he would think more from his heart and mind as a combination together. A true union is what I have observed. He is a perfect example for following the Parabrahman, the spirit of the Parabrahman, and the focus to help the youth to move forward in this value of the valuable scriptures which the ancient India law has having as a treasure, and we want to bring it back to the youth especially. I think with us we have Dilip ji and Dr. N. Sujata Garu also, who are helping us in this particular direction. I really help this particular thing. I thank Dr. Dilip ji and Dr. N. Sujata Garu as well. The driving force is definitely as a team here with myself. Dr. Venkat Barla is the heart of this particular group. So I look forward to listening. I think we will listen more to Dr. Venkat Barla. Over to you, sir, on Svetasvatara Upanishad for the youth.
Thank you, Mr. Niranjan. Thank you for those kind words. I am not a spiritual guru, nor having any great knowledge about the scriptures. But what I have experienced over the years in life, listening, reading, and observing the scriptures over the years, and of course, in this series of these Upanishads, as one reads the discourses of Swami Chinmayanand, Swami Ranganathanand, and earlier rishis and things, so a bit of some ABCD we come to know, and we would wanted to share those preliminary knowledge to the younger generation. That is the idea of starting this forum. Now, fairly we have been doing well, and then we have miles to go, and we have miles to go. Now, today's session is about Svetasvatara Upanishad. There are three words in this combination of the title. Sveta as white. As means horse. Tara means a world beyond. In other words, sitting on a white horse, this Upanishad takes you into a different world. Now, the world we are talking about is migration from the current physical world into a metaphysical world or abstract world where you experience the self and the super self. Self is within us, super self is much beyond, and finally everything is within us. So this Upanishad is basically talks about the migration from this end to the other end. Now, what are the steps in migration is the central idea of this Upanishad. And there are 113 mantras in this Upanishad. I'm not going to recite not even one of those mantras because I am not aware. There are 6 chapters. All these mantras have been grouped into 6 chapters. And this comes from Yajurveda. As we know, there are 2 Yajurvedas, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. Krishna Yajurveda is the one which is very mystic, which was not very popular, which was not very much codified. It is imperfect, raw text of the Upanishad. So they called it as Krishna Upanishad. Later on, over the centuries, the text has been refined and brought into a readable, presentable Upanishad in the current form, which is called Shukla Upanishad. Now, the Svetasvatara Upanishad belongs to Shukla Yajurveda, and this is supposed to have been recited by Svetasvatara sage. So it's in the name of the sage. The sage's name also happens to be Svetasvatara, who is the author of this Upanishad. Now, having said the introduction to the Upanishad, before we go into the 6 chapters, I'm not going to dwell in detail about the 6 chapters, but then I would give headings and explain the meanings and connect it to the current day youth and student community. But before I do that, those 6 steps, let me share the final take home of today. Because if I give it in the beginning, it will be very clear of what we are expecting and what we are supposed to take home today. Now, the conclusion is the total universal soul, the entire potential is within the human being. The human being is made of all Panchabhutas, which were created before these Panchabhutas were induced into the spirit, into the figment of thought of the God that you were in the beginning. Later on, all the 5 elements were induced into you, that you became a prani or a human being today. In other words, the entire cosmos, all the 5 elements, the whole potential, the power is all within you. It's nothing beyond you. Like the Brahman is within you, Parabrahman is within you, the materialistic world is within you, non-materialistic world is within you. The human is a composite of all these things. The universal soul exists in each, and it's all pervasive within us. This is the central message of this Upanishad. Now, what is the implication? The implication is that you can explore and exploit anything of this universe from within yourself. For example, Einstein has exploded the science from within. Similarly, several mathematicians, several scientists, several agriculturists, each one of us are able to exploit our potentials from within. It is not coming from anywhere. The external stimuli are like water put to the plant. all the external stimuli, the knowledge coming from the gurus, the parents, the society and friends, all the external content which is filling you is like a water put to the plant. The plant has to absorb the water, take it to the top by the capillary action, absorb it, everything happens within the crucible of you, and you generate the kind of knowledge, the kind of wisdom, everything that comes from within you. This is the central message we would like to take forward. Now, the chapter number 2, chapter number 1 is the primal cause is within each individual, the power innate, the power innate. It is within us. It's nowhere else. You are a scientist, you are a singer, you are a great artist, you are M.F. Hussain, you are S.P. Balasubramaniam, you are everything. Everything is hidden within you, and it's up to you to unfold, to unearth, and bring out. And so conditions for that, the inputs, the catalyzers for bringing out the Shakti hidden in you, it all depends on the kind of schools that you go through, the teachers that you go through, society, friends, parents, and so on. But suffice to say that there is everything within us. This is chapter number 1 of the Upanishad. Now, the chapter number 2 is talking about how to exploit and bring out these innate potentials from the human beings. It could be a student. If you're a student of engineering, a student of management, a student of arts and science and things like that, there is hell of a lot hidden in you. And how do you bring it out? The method recommended by the Upanishad is yoga. By yoga, I do not mean breathing exercises. A lot of us have a misnomer that yoga means breathing exercises. Morning you sit down for half an hour, do the breathing exercises, and then be done with it. You've done your yoga. No, yoga is not that. That is one of the activities. Yoga is getting lost into an activity. Mamekamai podam. You get completely transcend into an activity. That's what Srinivas Ramanujan was. He was completely lost into the world of mathematics. He doesn't know. He doesn't care anything else. A lot of us in our childhood, we used to get engaged ourselves into so many activities so deeply. We used to do that. But as we grow, unfortunately, this world has drawn us into many things that our attention, our deep involvement in any particular thing is not there. We become a jack of all, master of none. You know everything, you don't know anything. In the process, we become politicians. We accumulate lies. We know the art of managing things, managing people. From the student life itself, the world is taking us into this materialistic world so badly that we become the veterans. But can you do the reverse engineering? If you think of a bit of reverse engineering, what happens is people. If you look at a person who has achieved the IAS, for example, a lot of rickshaw pullers' daughters and sons, a lot of blind people have become the IAS officers. Now, how they become IAS officers? How Einstein has become Einstein? Simply by a total immersion into a thing, an activity, a life, that they know everything in that life. They see the bottom of it. They take the hell out of it and then completely master that particular thing, that there's nothing they do not know about it. Such people, definitely in whichever domain they are, they would achieve things. And this world belongs to them. If you ask me who are the owners of this world, I would say those are the people, those people are the owners of this world who have completely lost themselves into a particular thing, mastered the craft, and started giving back to the society. In the process, they get money, they get fame, they get gold medals, Ganapit awards, or Nobel prizes. Everything will be added to them. The God will add everything else to them for the wonderful immersion, involvement which they have done to that particular chosen task. That is yoga. So if that is yoga, then for the student community, the message is that while you are in the process of traveling from inside to outside and outside, and so on, as this world will make you a veteran, a politician, a liar, or whatever you become, in order to thrive on the chaos of this world, you tend to master the craft of gelling in this world. While you do this outward journey, I call it, can you also travel inside? Can you also do that yoga that I'm talking about? Yoga of getting lost into a particular activity, a mission. Can you become a missionary? Okay, you be with friends, no problem. You have all the fun, no problem. But also from within, can you get lost into a particular mission and achieve that mission? If you genuinely attempt, if you put your heart and mind and soul into a particular thing, definitely I have challenged many students that you will become IAS provided you study 10 hours per day for 1 year. I'll give you the books, I'll give you the study material, I'll give you the timetable. You study 10 hours per day. Out of 24 hours, you study 10 hours per day. And I'll guarantee you that the IAS will come to you. Instead of you going to it, IAS will come to you. Those kind of flavors of success has been witnessed by all of us and most of us. Only thing is we don't care those beautiful patches of our life. We forget about them and we get busy in our mundane of the world, and we enjoy lying, telling lies. We enjoy playing politics. We enjoy cheating. We enjoy mingling and zingling. We enjoy these things, and in this process, we get lost into those. We get lost. We lose track of those beautiful patches of yoga, meditation, or getting lost into the specific missions that we choose for ourselves. So therefore, chapter 1 is a beautiful message for the youth, student community, that you choose your activity, get lost into that, do the best. If you are a sweeper, let nobody sweep better than you on this earth. If you are a railway cross technician, let nobody do that activity better than you. Whatever, nothing is small, nothing is big, nothing is less, nothing is more. Work is worship. Everything that you choose, you do so well that nobody matches. If you are a cobbler, do that so well that nobody matches you in this world. That is mission. That is the yoga. You are a yogi of the cobbling activity. You are a yogi of sweeping activity. You are a yogi of educational mission, and so on. So this is the dearest Upanishad to me, and then this is so much to give to the student community that in my own life also, as a person who studied from a thatched house without electricity in the house, from those days, how I have studied, how I have migrated, how I have reached, I felt that answer itself, but then how I managed. So every time life has been an immersion into a mission, a zeal, a ziddi, means that he's a guy with so much of zeal that he is into that. And so this mission yourself, and then you will achieve success. This is what knowing thyself. Talking about there is a self, there is a super self, there is a Brahman. We are talking every week, we are talking about it. Every Upanishad, we are talking about it. There is the other side of the coin. There are innate potentials. There is a scientist hidden in you. Can you unfold? There is a singer hidden in you. There's a cobbler hidden in you. Whatever it is. A man, a person, a human being is bestowed with so many innumerable potentials within himself or herself, that all education is meant to unfold those inner potentials. If it is not helping you, it is not education. It is de-education. It is avidya that we are undergoing. But if the best out of you is coming, in each one of us, some good has come out. Maybe I should have become a scientist. I have become a manager. I have become an industry expert and a researcher now. But I could have, if somebody else had guided me into a lab and into a thing, I would have become a great scientist. I never knew. I could have had those opportunities also. I could have become a mathematician. I could have become something else. The innate strengths are embedded into you. Everything is embedded into you. You can become anything and everything. You only need to identify what is your dearest to your heart, dearest to your mind, catch hold of that, exploit that, work for it, give your body, mind, and soul into that, and achieve it. All achievers, all people who have achieved great things have done this. I know how Bhadrachalam paperboards ITC company have built. We know how Flipkart was built by those young engineers. They have given everything into that. So that is what the yoga means. The youth should not misunderstand that the scriptures are for the old people, just to realize, leave this world, materialistic world, go to Himalayas and do some tapas, understand those scriptures, and then write books or give sermons. No, this is not the purpose of the Upanishads. The Upanishads have to be translated into the student language. The utility of those Upanishads have to be told to the youth, like today the embedded nature of the innate strengths of students within themselves. The yoga, not the breathing exercise, not at all the breathing exercise. The yoga of self-dedication into an activity and achieving that activity. That's what yoga means. This is chapter number 1 and 2. Now, chapter number 3 of this Upanishad talks about a personal God within each one of us. You call it Atman, call it the traces of Paramatman, which is within you, but there is a personal God within you. And you are that anyway. The discourses of several sages are telling us that you are that. Tattvamasi. You are that. So that is anyway there. But even if you are into this physical world, into this materialistic world, suffice to realize, that your physical body is in this world, but there is a God that is you, that is in you already. And then as you understand more of it, as you do this yoga, this scientific inquiry, the understanding of the nature, as you do more and more, you are realizing that God within you. Let us not say that God means some unattainable, ununderstandable, some abstract entity which people have talked about for ages. And then what is the need for me to understand that? Anyway, my grandfather told me, I believe that, I agree with you, leave me alone. Can we also think that exploration of these innate strengths is also realization of God? Why this is not God? This is also God. Because all this physical manifestation is also a part of the God, is a shade of the God, is an expression of God. This entire physical, this mathematics, this physics, chemistry, or whatever, the singing, the music, the whole thing is nothing but expression of God and within you. Now, let us understand that exploration of the God is also same as, let us not guide the youth into believing that the mystic and the ununderstandable abstract thing is God. Then he will lose respect. He will not care for it, because anyway I can't understand. I can't go there. Let me be busy with my studies and my engineering studies and my books. And no, let us guide the youth as if doing this study, understanding physics, is also understanding of God. Because physics is God, mathematics is God. Why not? If S.P. Balasubramanian was singing, he is singing God. He is bringing the formation of a form of God to us. Because Lord Shiva is Nada Sharirudu. Nada Sharirudu means his whole body is made up of music. So what else can be a better exploration of God than this? So I believe that for the youth, for the students, we must tell that understanding God is understanding your job, understanding your studies, doing extremely into that. You may not understand initially. Pursue that. Do it again and again. 1,000 times you do it, you will. The way I have learned English, I never knew English. But sadhana has helped me to learn English. And again, further refinement, further sadhana, speaking, moving, listening, emulating, understanding, has made me to speak English the way I am doing today. Whether it is knowing of English, speaking of English, or knowing physics or chemistry, or doing a carpentry or cobblery, it is simply that. And I do not think they are different than exploring God. They are surely, because you are exploring the physical world. The physical world is a manifestation of the God, and understanding and doing these physical things better and better is exploration of God. That's what Dhirubhai Ambani believed. I mean, he's a highly religious person, but he did his job so well. He did his job so well, and that is what he believes. is got to be. So there is a personal God in each one of us. The chapter 3 of the Upanishad tells us that personal God is the hub which is hidden in you. From that hub, physical, non-physical, metaphysical, everything is attainable. That is the personal God which is already hidden in us. So each one of us, whether it is Isha or Rudra, or Upanishads give different names to that personal God, and Hindu mythology gives the names of Isha and Rudra. But the point is that that hub which is hidden, that motherboard which is there, is capable of doing any combination of mathematics. It has got a wonderful data operating system within itself. The moment you write a simple program, you will be able to get a wonderful result. You only need to write the coding. There is that hub already within you. That thing is already there. Okay. So that is what if we draw a similarity between the spiritual discourse and the student discourse, the meaning of exploration of God, which is connectable to the exploration of education, carpentry, cobblery, singing, you name it. It's not different. Unfortunately, the discourses of Swamijis are only talking about the same rhetoric. They're talking about exploring God, trying to understand the mistake, go into the depths and get lost and into that, and then ultimately find nothing. But for a student, if I have to tell, I would say that explore what is there on hand with you. That is also God. Do well, perfectly well. And that is what this Upanishad has to tell the youth as well as the others, that do well, explore well, get lost into something, and then everything will be added to you. In different mythologies, in different scriptures also are telling the same thing, that what is at hand, you do so perfectly that its results will be added to you. They will automatically come to you. But the problem is that we diversify into so many things. We don't stick to a focused thing. We would like that, we would like this, we like A, B, C, D, we would like Z also. We like everything. We want everything. We don't realize that doing one thing perfectly and to the ultimate level of it will get you all these other things. So from a defocus, can we focus? That is the secret of success of any successful person. If we take, that is the secret of success. And chapter 3 is telling us the personal God, the kernel hidden within us, the motherboard hidden within us, the DOS operating system within us, that exploring that will get us everything and anything. Now, chapter number 4 is talking about the Parabrahman. Now, we have talked about the entities within ourselves so far, and now the chapter number 4 is talking about the highest soul, the Parabrahman, is also within you. The whole wisdom, the whole light, the whole cosmos, everything, he is already there in you. Now, the meaning to the students about this particular chapter number 4 is that if you know that you are that, if you know that you are Atman, a part of the Atman, if you know that you are Paramatman, how powerful you are. Can any crisis put you down? Can any problem of this day-to-day life frustrate you? No, nothing can frustrate you. Nothing can frustrate you because these things are coming from this materialistic world, whereas you yourself, as a student or as a youth or as a aged person, you yourself are a Brahman. If you are that, this is nothing. This is nothing. You'll be able to forgive people. You can forgive your wife. You can forgive your spouse. You can forgive your brother and forgive your enemy. Jesus Christ had come to this world to forgive the enemies, to give salvation to the sinners. Such a beautiful verses that we have there. So therefore, if you think that you are a figment of that Brahman, where is the limit for you? Where is the need to get frustrated? Whether you fail in the examination or pass in the examination, it's one and the same. Neither you are elated for success, nor you are put down or frustrated for the non-success. You can take everything equally. See, that is a beautiful message. It's a beautiful message coming from chapter 4. The old Brahman is, we do often do a very great mistake of even the senior people, very, very big people, try to think that the God is elsewhere and the God of God is much elsewhere into the cosmos or somewhere else. No, don't separate. It is within you. You are that, and it's within you. There is no need to. The moment you understand this samaj, when you get this understanding, this samaj, everything else becomes frivolous. This world, this pleasures, these frustrations, everything else becomes so small that you are beyond all these things. So it is possible, being in this world also, it is possible to get the understanding. That's what I'm trying to push the discourse. Either you are a corporate person, you are a vice president in Tata Steel, or whatever it is, have this understanding in the background and try to operate your day-to-day works. You will find a lot of difference of how you are dealing with your employees, how you are dealing with your family, friends, or enemies. Much, much elevated soul you will be. Although you may have tie, you may have coat and suit and boot, but you are a sage inside. You are a corporate executive outside. You are a sage inside. You may be a housewife outside, but you are a great sage inside. You may be a student outside, but inside you have this understanding. So how our children can understand all this? How we can explain them? But the point is that there is everything within us. This is what chapter number 4. Brahman is within yourself. The highest soul, the highest Brahman is there already within you, and you are that. And chapter 5 is talking about this particular Parabrahman being all pervasive. It is not only within you, but within others also. It is there within others. It is within your daughter, within your enemy, within your friend. Everybody is a figment of that. It's all pervasive. You do not have to think that he is different than you. Love thy neighbor. Why Jesus Christ said love thy neighbor? Because he is no different. He is simply, it is like a pail of water from the river that we take through our hands and throw it above into the sky, we become small, small globules. That is what we have all become. We all the living and non-living matter has come from that Brahman. We are only pigments of those things. Why should we have to think that he is different, I am different, he is low, I am high, and all this nonsense that we undergo. And the final chapter is talking about the delink from the sorrows and miseries happens the moment you link up yourself with the Parabrahman, which is already within you, which is yourself. There is no need for any misery or any sorrow, which is external thing to you. Why do you take it inside? There is no need to indulge into that. The happenings of this physical world, let them happen. Let the maramari go on in the street. But you can you be away? Can you be inside and watch the tamasha? Your wife may be fighting with you. Your son may be cursing you. All that external thing is happening. Let it happen. But a sage inside you, the rishi inside you, operates differently. The rishi is inside you, is able to forgive, is able to sustain the crisis, is able to thrive on the chaos in the corporate life, and so on. So these 6 chapters are telling us these things. I have tried to summarize this into the student language, which is my purpose. And we would like to now hear the spiritual part of it. Full experience. So over to you. We can now take some questions.
Like to share some of my thought processes on the pointers what you have raised. The first pointer you have raised is meditation. Are we suggesting that students go through meditation every hour in the morning and every hour in the evening? I'd like to bring to our forum's attention that meditation is not just about closing yourself in one place and then reminding the name of the God or the Lord or
No,
your
no,
Ishtadaiva.
no.
Meditation is
No,
a
no, no,
thought
no, no, no.
process. May
Meditation
I
is not about
may I
meditation is
just
not
interrupt?
about
May I just interrupt
chanting.
for
No, the
a while?
meditation is not about chanting.
That's the
Chanting and
point I'm
meditation are
trying
not
to.
same.
You're right,
Yeah,
Martigaru. I'm trying to come to that same point. Meditation and chanting are not the same.
not the same.
Meditation is about the thought processes, what you are having a dialogue with your own self.
That's right.
That's the key what we want to drive. So the
Yeah,
driving point on meditation is we are suggesting to the youth that you got to spend a time with yourself. Try to understand yourself. What is it that you want to do? What are the things which you want to do on a moment to moment basis? Bring that awareness into your conscious mind regularly. That's the key to success. That's the key to success. Number one, I think we both are on the same points there because we understand each other now on meditation. So the key concept of Upanishads is the wisdom. It's talking about the wisdom. The Upanishads are talking about the wisdom. Now, this is the message which has to go to the youth, that there is a wisdom which is existing in these scriptures, and it has to go in the right platform. The way it has to be presented to the youth is the key today. Because the moment you talk about Upanishads or the scriptures, where are the audience who are coming to listen, for example? Whereas we talk about anything that is entertaining in terms of media or other things, people come and then look for it. So there are selective people like you and like me and the participants here, the August participants present here. These are the forces which have to take it into the society's basic unit level of a house. So that is the challenge which has to go through. And one of the key things which I was discussing also previously, it talks about parenting. It talks from parenting. Parenting is the key aspect which we got to be working on, introducing these kind of methods, these tools to the youngsters, to the youth who are the builders of this nation. Number one, I'd like to also say that Dr. Venkat Barla garu did mention about the cobbler or about a sweeper, where they are fully 100% involved in their work. Be the best in whatever work you are doing. That's the best part, which is the key takeaway. We always believe that it is the thinking minds which create this environment and which create this world. So thinking minds are the
Yeah.
key for this particular aspect. And I would appreciate if you could join us in our next session as well and share your
Sure,
thoughts and the
sure.
rest of the other things.
I'll be
And
much.
any other discussions? Dilip Garu, you wanted to say something? I've seen your hand raising. Please go ahead.
Also, Sujata ma'am.
Actually, few things I would like to touch upon. It is for the benefit of all of us. I would like to share my thoughts on the same, which I think even Mr. Niranjan has alluded to. Meditation is not 1 hour or 10 minutes or thing. Meditation is 24/7. So whatever work you do it with a meditative mind. So what exactly is meditation? Meditation means that you transcend the mind. So what do you mean by transcend the mind? So I don't look at things with a prejudiced mind. Mind is always prejudice. Prejudice and mind they are like synonyms,
That's right.
So if I look through, it is like I'm wearing a red color glass. So that is my mind. I will see everything red. If I'm wearing yellow color goggles, I will see everything, whole world is colored in yellow. So that is a prejudiced view of looking at things which are outside, which are exterior to me. So when I say I am meditative means I don't look at through the mind which I am possessing. So mind is an accumulation of number of things. So I keep that aside. So for example, I'm looking at a rose. I forget that I know the label also rose. That is the extent to which I go down to. Like a small child, you show him first time he sees the flower rose. What will be his reaction? How will he look at it? I look at with the same innocence at everything. That is in fact if you look at creative people, when you say it is creative is something which is original. So when you say something is original means what, it is not coming through mind. It is something divine, it is something which is when you transcend the mind, you're one with the God. They say, I'm using the word God because I don't have any better word to say, a better word to use. So I'm using the word. So that is, you become divine when you transcend the mind, So you're not using your current knowledge to look at things. So you go beyond that. That is exactly what is meditation all about, The second point is about Upanishad. Upanishad, as we know that they are part of Vedas and they are at the end of the Vedas. No, Upanishad in those days were not taught to people. They were always taught to very specific, selective students. They were not taught to everybody and anybody and everybody, And in fact, they don't teach you anything. They don't tell you, they don't say anything. They just tell you, they give you pointers. Okay. Whatever is there is within us. So they are just pointing. Like in one of my earlier presentation, I had mentioned about it's a way finding tool. It is the GPS. So it tells you, it gives you pointers to go about things in your life. That is what is all Upanishad is all about, So it is telling you, and everything works on the basis of inquiry. The method what is used in Upanishad is inquiry. So you have to inquire about who am I, from where did I come, where will I go, what will happen to me after my death. So all these questions you have to put. Upanishad doesn't give you an answer. It just guides you and it tells you that, okay, you do this. This is the way to question. This is the way to follow. So it is it is triggering you to discover on your own, you know. Like Mandukya said that there are 3 states, so which everybody knows and everybody can identify with it, that I am having a waking state, I am having a dream state, I am having a deep sleep state. So this is what is in my experience. So it is not something bringing something from outside and telling you, okay, do this, do this. No, it is just pointing it out to you, no? So and logic is very inherent with the way the things are put across in Upanishad. So Upanishad don't say anything, don't tell you, don't give you any Brahma, any knowledge or anything. It just tells you how to find it out yourself, you know, find it out for yourself by method of inquiry. So everywhere it is a method of inquiry, and then you discover the answers. It is benefit for all of us that if somebody has any other views to say, he can say. And with regards to definition of success is a very subjective thing, and it is very dynamic. What is success today may not be defined in the same way after 15 years or after next moment, after tomorrow, or for 10 days or 1 day, or so my definition of success is going to change. Examples of people like whoever it is, nobody in this world is wearing a clean shirt. Everybody has got plus points and everybody has got negative points. So here what we are trying to do is focus on the positives. Yes, everybody knows that politicians are cheat, that business guys are cheat, or any other world business leaders, they are not also come everything straightforward, you know. They are not like wearing very clean shirts. So they have gone through different ways of manipulation, different ways of lobbying and all, which may not be fair if you look at it in a very Upanishadic terminology or very scripture terminology. You may find that, okay, these guys are not fair at all, you know. Nobody is fair. Nobody is wearing a clean shirt. Even I am not wearing a clean shirt. I have done wrong things in my life. And so is with everyone. So let us focus on the positive side of Ambani. Let us focus on positive side of people, public figures. And that is what I think Dr. Venkat, when he quotes these kind of examples, it is both with those views, you know, that he wants to highlight, and it immediately, and it's a teaching tool, or it is a presentation tool that it sticks in the mind quickly. That is one of the other advantage of mentioning, you know. So you're kind of trying to create a signpost when you mention the word of name of Ambani or Bill Gates or anybody else as an example. So I hope I I don't think so. Mr. Maruti will be back, because his expectation from the from this this thing session where did not meet his benchmark. So so be it, you know. Let's get the best out of whatever we are doing, and we'll be in a better state than before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so
I
much.
agree. I really agree, Dr. Shri Dilip Garu, on this particular aspect. It doesn't matter. We have a purpose to move forward. We have a style and method of taking things in our way. He has got every person individual, like you rightly pointed out, has got their own expectations. The colored glass, what they are wearing. For that particular viewing a particular thing only in a particular limited fashion, it will be very difficult for them to accept. So the world is growing, things are becoming in a different way, and we got to present this truth in such a manner that it is easily available to the youth, especially. That's the key focus. So I think very well explained, point noted. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Sir,
think
I too wanted to say the same thing, sir.
Please.
I think other than this way, it is not possible to take the Upanishads down to the students. And our purpose of having such a series based on Upanishads is basically not to go into Brahman or God or something like, whatever is actually told in the Upanishads, but then something which the Upanishad uh, can help or aid the students to do their job in a better way. That is what is our focus. And I am sure the way Dr. Barla sir has, started and he has completed, it was fantastic. Actually, I've made note of all points, from chapter to chapter. It was so nice the way he wanted to give it to the students, and I can make use of the same in the classroom. It was good. Of course, as has already been said, the likes and dislikes of people vary from one to one, and our uh, focus is something different for the students, and we are going with it. It is wonderful, sir. And you, sir, this is one thing I wanted to say. And one thing about in the fourth chapter, Dr. Barla was talking about the friends and enemies. How you accept, you can accept the friends as friends and enemies as enemies. And in, I don't remember the chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Atmaivahi Atmano Bandhuhu, Atmaiva Rupur Atmanaha. It is the same thing that is reflected there. That is, we are the one to decide who's our friend and who's our enemy. We are the person. Atma is the one. If you want to accept the person in front of you as a friend or as an enemy can become your friend, a friend can become a friend. So it is you who are the deciding factor. And
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful explanation. And
Yeah.
hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Dr. Sujata garu, you are audible.
So yes, sir. So I love the session today, and there's a lot for me to carry forward to the students, and it was a fantastic session, sir.
Appreciate, ma'am. Good. So hopefully we will take this message very clearly and strongly to the youth and the students, and then we take forward. Dr. Garu, please go ahead.
We can have some opinion from Surya, who's here, Apal, who are there. Maybe Surya, who's also the power man of India, so we can hear from Surya as well. Surya, can we hear from you?
Yes. I have been all along listening to you, though I have kept it the audio and video both off. And my only opinion is that any group is not possible to satisfy 100% people. So people will have a difference of opinion. We should not get discouraged about that. The people who want to get benefited, they will benefit it, and people who have their own opinion, some people they have very hard opinions, so they're really ready to change. So it was a good talk by you, and also the things shown one by one on the video is also good. So we should continue with this. People will come and join based on their interest. So it's a good talk. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Surya. Apal have some comment to make?
Apal is there, he has left.
Apal is there.
I see he's there. Yeah.
Unmute himself. Apal, please unmute. Yeah, Niranjan Garu may unmute Apal.
Yeah, I've sent a request to unmute.
Yeah, good evening. So I came back to this call.
Good.
Yeah, and I was hearing all the. I mean, I heard part of, and I came back. I think Venkat Barla Garu talk was coming to an end. So, but I thought we were doing terribly well and all that, and we were right in the right steps. And that video was super. I really liked that video. And I mean, okay. I mean, as people have different views and all. I mean, everyone is free to give their views and all. We did not be unnecessarily. I think we are doing good work here, as Professor Sujata has said, and that is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. and then she has certified that
That's
this
right.
is a way we can carry it forward. And I mean, okay, as Dilip Garu said, not all of Ambani's credentials may be very good, but let us look at only the positive sides. I mean, there may be the many negatives. Let us, one of my seniors used to say, let us highlight the brilliant points and soft pedal on the weaknesses. So I think, that should be a way forward. And, I think a terrific job by Venkat Garu and Niranjan Garu, and with all those anecdotes from Dilip Garu, I think that we are headed in the right direction. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Bhavna is there. Bhavna is there. I think there's another participant. There's one Bhavna is there, and also Pradeep is there. Anna Madam may add something.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, basically, if I may summarize today's thing, we are trying to translate the Upanishadic or scriptural knowledge down to the common man. Our mission is very, very clear, and in the process, we come across the discussions and arguments and things. But our mission basically is to bring this high-level knowledge into the common man's level. And we have selected student and youth because students and youth are the future of this country. If we can drive this message to the youth and students, that is our success. So therefore, anyway, the senior citizens are doing their job. There are a lot of people, aged, gurus and gurus of gurus are all doing this job their own way. But we have chosen our own way of reaching this message to the youth. And in the process, we may take examples of successful people, unsuccessful people, case studies, which are mundane of the day-to-day living. Therefore, they may not look like Upanishadic words and sentences. That is our purpose. Our purpose is to talk in the common man's language, the language of Upanishads. That's where the challenge lies. And we are heading towards, and we may meet partial success, full success, and so on. We are not deterred at all, and we move forward. Thank you very much. Over to
Yeah. Dilip Garu wants to say something. Please, Dilip Garu.
Actually, I just wanted to add so that everybody, whoever is present, is benefited by this. Is that in the chapter 4 of this Upanishad, and also in one of the earlier Upanishad also, I think this example was given. I think that was taken by Dr. Sujata. Here also in chapter 4, it tells a parable about two birds. So the two birds of a beautiful plumage and who are inseparable friends, and they dwell upon the same tree. So one of the two birds is eating the sweet fruit, while the other one looks on without eating. So what they are saying here is that the two birds are individual souls. One is the Jiva, that is a normal person, and the other one is the Supreme Soul, or the Brahman or Paramatman, So, but one is reflection of the other. So Jiva is a reflection of the Supreme Soul, and hence they are inseparable. A tree is the body. So analogous to the body is the tree. And the fruit of the tree is the pleasures and pains of life, or results of our own karma or my past actions. And the dwelling on the same tree, the individual soul, the jiva, he gets entangled and feels miserable, and he is deluded and grieves for the condition in which he is in. When he sees the other who is contented and knows his glory, and he wants to become free from sorrow. So this particular parable was there in the in one of the Vedas. I think it was taken by Dr. Sujata. and it actually reflects our condition, as mere souls on the planet Earth, that we are also going through the pleasures and pains. We are in this wheel of samsara, and Upanishad tells us the way how to get out of that particular wheel, and that also will be on the basis of self-learning or self-discovery, or you by the inquiry mode. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shri Dilip Garu, on that particular note. And I'd like to give my thanks to Dr. Venkat Barla Garu for his thought-provoking session today, especially on Svetasvatara Upanishad, talking about the importance of knowing self, meditating, having a personal God within oneself. It's a combination of both Dvaita and Advaita, or Vishishtadvaita, for that particular matter. Whoever is looking in that particular aspect, he gets that, because everything at the end of the day, it's a universal spread of truth, the Satchit Ananda Swarupa. It's a complete spread of platter which is there, from even if you're looking at Rudra, from Ghora to Aghora. So it's a complete spectrum of knowledge which is existing as a Ghora to Aghora, which is a part and parcel of this Brahmanda. It's a wonderful knowledge and inspiration for the youth to take it forward, meditate on it, and let's hope we do continue our good work and take it to the common man on a day-to-day basis. Look for success in their own respective meanings. With that, I close my comments, and thank you, Shri Dr. Venkat Barla Garu, for your wonderful session. Thank you, Shri Dilip Ji. Thank you, Shri Dr. Sujata Garu. Thank you, Apal Garu. And thank you all the August audience who are present here. Our new entrant, Shri Shurya Garu. Welcome to be on our group here. And we request all the audience to take the message to the youth and bring this kind of a scriptural knowledge which is existing, the power-packed source of taking oneself to higher conscious levels. With that, I close my comments. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We again see again on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
day.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Right.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But I would appeal to Niranjan Garu now to play the video and tell us, the speaker in the video is talking about the spiritual part of the Upanishad. Over to you, Niranjan Sahib.
Okay, sure, sir. I'll be sharing the screen like you wanted me to share. Just give me a second.
I have a couple of questions. Shall I ask them now or later?
Later.
You can mark your question, Sandy. Please do make a note of it, and then we can take it. I'm going to play the video. Is it visible?
Svetasvatara Upanishad. Lovers of God ask, what is the cause? God? Where do we come from? By what power do we live? On what are we established? Who rules over our various pains and pleasures, God-knowers? Time or its own nature, or necessity, or chance, or the elements, or a womb, or spirit are to be considered, not a combination of these, because of the soul's existence. The soul cannot be the cause of pleasure and pain. Those who practiced meditation in union saw the divine soul power hidden in their own qualities. It is the one who rules over all these causes, from time to the soul. It is understood as one wheel with 3 layers, 16 parts, 50 spokes, 20 counterspokes, 6 groups of 8, whose one rope is diverse, which has 3 different paths, whose single illusion has 2 conditioning causes. It is understood as an impetuous and crooked river of 5 streams from 5 sources, whose waves are the 5 vital breaths, whose origin is 5-fold understanding, with 5 whirlpools, a violent flood of 5-fold misery, divided into 5 disturbances with 5 branches. In this which vitalizes all things, which appears in all things, the Supreme, in this God wheel, the human spirit wanders around, thinking that the soul and the causer are different. When favored by this, one attains immortality. This has been sung as the Supreme God. In it there is a triad. It is the firm support, the imperishable. By knowing what is in there, God-knowers merge in God, intent on it, liberated from the womb. What is joined together as perishable and imperishable, as manifest and unmanifest, the Lord supports it all. Without the Lord, the soul is bound because of enjoying. By knowing the divine, one is released from all restriction. There are 2 unborn ones, the wise and the unwise, the powerful and the powerless. She too is unborn, who is connected with the enjoyer and objects of enjoyment. The soul is infinite, universal, detached. When one discovers this triad, that is God. What is perishable is the material. What is immortal and imperishable is the bearer. Over both the perishable and the soul, the Divine One rules. By meditating on this, by union with this, and by entering into this being more and more, there finally occurs the cessation of every illusion. By knowing the divine, every restriction passes away. With disturbances ended, birth and death cease. By meditating on this, there is a 3rd stage at the dissolution of the body, universal lordship. Being absolute, one's desire is satisfied. That eternal should be known as present in the soul. Nothing higher than that can be known. When one recognizes the enjoyer, the object of enjoyment, and the universal causer, all has been said. This is the threefold God. As the form of fire, when latent in its material, is not perceived, and yet there is no disappearance of its potential, but it may be sparked again by a drill in its material, so both are found in the body by the use of Om. By making one's body the lower friction stick, and the word Om the upper friction stick, by practicing the friction of meditation, one may see the divine which is hidden come to light. As oil in sesame seeds, as butter in cream, as water in springs, and as fire in the friction sticks, so is the soul found in one's own self, if one looks for it with real discipline. The soul which pervades all things, as butter is contained in cream, which is rooted in self-knowledge and discipline, this is God, the highest mystic doctrine. This is God, the highest mystic doctrine. Savitri, first controlling the mind and thought for truth, discerned the light of fire and brought it out of the earth. With mind controlled, we are inspired by the god Savitri for heaven and strength. With mind having controlled the powers that go into heaven through thought, may Savitri inspire them to become great light. The seers of the great God control their mind and thoughts. The one who knows the rules ritual, the chorus sings the glory of the god Savitri. I join your prayer to God with adoration. May my verses go forth like the sun on its path. May all the children of immortality listen, even those who have ascended to heaven. Where the fire burns, where the wind blows, where the juice overflows, there mind is born. Inspired by Savitri, one should delight in the prayer to God. If you make this your foundation, the past will not tarnish you. Holding the body steady with the 3 parts erect, and causing the senses with the mind to enter into the heart, the wise within the God boat cross over the rivers of fear. Having restrained one's breath here in the body, and having one's movements checked, one should breathe through the nostrils with lessened breath. Like the chariot yoked with wild horses, the wise should restrain the mind attentively. In a clean, level spot, without rubbish, fire, and blemishes, where the sound of water and other surroundings are favorable to thought, not offensive to the eye, in a hidden retreat protected from the wind, one should practice union. Fog, smoke, sun, fire, wind, fireflies, lightning, crystal, and a moon, these are the preliminary appearances before the manifestation of God in union. When the 5-fold quality of union has been produced, arising from earth, water, fire, air, and space, no sickness, nor old age, nor death has the one who obtains a body made from the fire of union. Lightness, health, steadiness, a clear countenance, a pleasant voice, a sweet odor, and scant excretions. These are the first stage in the progress of union. Just as a mirror covered by dust shines brilliantly when it has been cleaned, so the embodied one, on seeing the nature of the soul, becomes one, the goal attained, free from sorrow. When with the nature of the self as with a lamp, a practicer of union sees here the nature of God, unborn, firm, from every nature free, by knowing the divine, one is released from all restriction. That God faces all the quarters of heaven. It was born, is in the womb, is born, and will be born. It stands opposite creatures facing all directions. The God who is in fire, who is in water, who has entered into the whole universe, who is in plants, who is in trees, to that God be the glory, yes, the glory. The one spreader of the net, who rules with power, who rules all the worlds with power, the one who stands alone in their rising and continuing existence, those who know that one become immortal. For Rudra is the one, others notwithstanding for a moment, who rules all the worlds with power, watching over creatures as their protector, after creating them all, merging them together at the end. Having eyes and mouths everywhere, arms and feet everywhere, the one God making hands and wings creates the heaven and the earth. The source and origin of the gods, ruler of all, may Rudra, the great seer who anciently created the golden germ, endow us with clear intellect. Your form, Rudra, which is kind, free from fear and evil, with that most loving form, appear to us, resident of the mountains. Resident of the mountains, make kind the arrow which you hold in your hand to throw, mountain protector. Do not injure human nor animal. Higher than this is God, the Supreme, the Infinite, hidden in all things, body by body, the one embracing the universe. By knowing this as Lord, humans become immortal. I know this great spirit, radiant as the sun, beyond darkness. Only by knowing this does one pass over death. There is no other path for going there. Nothing else is higher, nothing else is smaller, nothing greater than the one that stands like a tree established in heaven. The whole world is filled by this, the Spirit. That which is beyond this world is without form and without ill. Those who know that become immortal, but others go only to sorrow. The face, the head, the neck of all, living in the hearts of all pervading is this, and generous, thus omnipresent and kind. A great Lord is the Spirit, the initiator of goodness to its purest attainment, the glory of imperishable light. Spirit, the size of a thumb, is the inner soul, always seated in the hearts of beings. It is reached by the heart, by understanding, by the mind. Those who know that become immortal. The Spirit has innumerable heads, eyes, and feet. It surrounds the earth on all sides and stands 10 inches beyond. The Spirit in truth is the whole universe, whatever has been and whatever will be, also sovereign of immortality and whatever grows by food. Its hands and feet are everywhere, everywhere its eyes and head and face. Its ears are everywhere. It stands encompassing all. Seeming to have the quality of all the senses, it is empty of all the senses, the sovereign Lord of all, the great shelter of all. Though embodied in a 9-gated city, back and forth to the external flies the human spirit, the master of the universe, both the moving and non-moving. Without foot or hand, it is swift and a grabber. It sees without eyes and hears without ears. It knows whatever can be known, but no one knows it. People call it the Supreme Primal Spirit. Subtler than the subtle, greater than the great, is the soul that is set in the heart of a being here. One sees it as being without active will and becomes liberated from sorrow. When through the grace of the Creator one sees the Lord and its greatness. I know this undecaying primal soul of all, always present in everything, exempt from birth, as they say, for the God-knowers speak of it as eternal. The one who is without color, diversified by its union power, distributes many colors in its hidden purpose, and into this, its end and beginning, the universe dissolves. It is divine. May it endow us with clear intellect. It is fire, it is the sun, it is air, and it is the moon. It is the seed, it is God. It is the waters, it is the Creator. You are woman, you are man, you are the boy and the maiden. You are that old person who walks supported by a staff. Being born, you face every direction. You are the bluebird and the green one with scarlet eyes. You give birth to lightning and are the seasons and the seas. Without beginning, you are inherently present in all beings which are born. With the one unborn female, red, white, and black, who gives birth to many creatures like herself, there lies the one unborn male enjoying her. The other unborn male leaves after enjoying her. They are two birds, close companions, clasping the same tree. Of the two, one eats sweet fruit, the other looks on without eating. On this same tree a person, sunk and grieving in slavery, is deluded, but upon observing the Lord, happy and great, becomes free of sorrow. What good are the sacred verses in the highest heaven where all the gods are seated to the one who does not know this? Those who know this are assembled here. Sacred poetry, sacrifices, ceremonies, vows, the past, the future, and what the scriptures declare, all this the illusion maker projects out of this, and in it by illusion the other is confined. Thus know that nature is illusion, and that the great Lord is the illusion maker. The whole world is filled with beings who are parts of this. The one who rules over every source, in whom the universe comes together and dissolves, the Lord, giver of blessings, divinely loving, by revering this, one finds peace. That which is the source and origin of the gods, sovereign of all, may Rudra, the great seer, who saw the golden germ when it was born, endow us with clear intellect. Who is the master of the gods on whom the worlds rest? Who is the Lord of the two-footed and the four-footed here? To what God shall we reverently give offerings? Subtler than the subtle in the middle of confusion, the creator of all in various forms, the one embracer of the universe. By knowing this as kind, one attains eternal peace. It is the protector of the world in time, the master of the universe, hidden in all creatures, with whom the seers of God and the gods are joined in union. By knowing this, one cuts the ties of death. By knowing as kind the one who is hidden in all things, very fine like clarified butter, richer than butter, the one who encompasses the whole universe, by knowing the divine, you may be released from bondage. This God, the world builder, the great soul, always seated in the heart of creatures, is reached by the heart, by understanding, by the mind. Those who know that become immortal. When there is no darkness, then there is no day or night, no being or non-being, only the kind one alone. That is the imperishable, the splendor of Savitri. From that came primal wisdom. Not above nor across, nor in the middle has one grasped this. There is no comparison to that whose name is great glory. Its form cannot be seen. No one ever sees it with eyes. Those who know it in heart and mind, as living in the heart, become immortal. Knowing you are unborn, one approaches in fear. Rudra, with your smiling face, protect me forever. Do not hurt our children, nor our grandchildren, nor our lives, nor our cattle, nor our horses. Do not kill our heroes in anger, Rudra. With offerings we always call upon you. In the imperishable, infinite, supreme God, two things are hidden, knowledge and ignorance. Ignorance dies, but knowledge is immortal. That which is master of both is something else. The one who rules over every source of creation, all forms, and all sources, who holds in thought and sees when born the red seer who was born at the beginning. That God spreads out every net diversely and draws it together in this field. Thus having created the exercisers, the Lord, the great soul, exercises universal sovereignty. As the radiant sun shines upon all regions above, below, and across, so does this glorious one God of love rule over whatever creatures are born from a womb. The source of all, who develops its own nature, who brings to maturity whatever can be ripened, that one distributes all qualities and rules over this whole world. What is hidden in the secret of the Vedas, that is, in the Upanishads, God knows that as the source of the sacred. The gods and ancient seers who knew that have become by its nature immortal. Whoever has qualities performs works that bring results. Of such actions, one experiences the consequences. undergoing all forms characterized by the three qualities, walking the three paths, the ruler of the vital breaths wanders around according to one's actions. It is the size of a thumb, bright as the sun, when coupled with conception and ego. But with only the qualities of understanding and soul, it appears the size of the point of an awl. This life is the 100th part of the point of a hair divided 100 times, and yet in it is infinity. Not female nor male, nor is it neuter. Whatever body it takes to itself, with that it is connected. By the delusions of imagination, touch, and sight, and by eating, drinking, and impregnating, there is birth and development of the soul. According to its actions, the embodied one successively assumes forms in various conditions. Gross or refined, the embodied one chooses many forms according to its own qualities. Subsequently, the cause of its union with them can be seen because of the quality of its actions and of itself. The one who is without beginning and without end, in the middle of confusion, the creator of all, of diverse form, is the one embracer of the universe. By knowing the divine, one is released from all restriction. The incorporeal is to be apprehended by the heart. The master of existence and non-existence, the kind one, the divine maker of all creation and its parts. Those who know this leave the body behind. Some seers say it is self-existence, others time. They are deluded. It is the greatness of God in the world by which this wheel of God revolves. It envelops the whole universe, is intelligent, the creator of time, possessing the qualities, omniscient. Ruled over by this, the cycle of works revolves, earth, water, fire, air, and space. It creates this work and rests again. It joins itself with principle after principle, with 1, 2, 3, or 8, with time and the subtleties of soul. It begins with work subject to the qualities and distributes all existences. In the absence of these, the work that has been done disappears. In the destruction of the work, it continues, because it is essentially different. The beginning, the efficient cause of what is combined, it is to be seen as beyond the three times and timeless. Revere this as infinite, the origin of all being, the God of love who lives in one's own thoughts, the primal. Higher and different than the cosmic tree, time, and forms is this from whom proceeds all phenomena. Bringer of justice, remover of evil, Lord of prosperity. Know this as in one's own soul, as the immortal home of all. This who is the supreme Lord of lords, supreme God of gods, supreme ruler of rulers, paramount, this let us know as the God of love, the Lord of the world. No action or organ of it can be found. There is not seen its equal nor a superior. Its high power is revealed to be diverse, and innate is the working of its intelligence and strength. It has no ruler in the world nor lord, nor is there any mark. It is the cause, sovereign over the lord of sense organs. It has no parent nor ruler. The one God which covers itself like a spider, with a web produced from primal matter of its own existence, may this grant us entrance into God. The one God hidden in all things, all-pervading, the inner soul of all beings, the master of action, living in all things, the witness, the thinker, without qualities, the one controller of the passive many, who makes the one seed manifold. The wise who perceive this as standing in one's soul, they and no one else have eternal bliss. that which is constant among the changing, the intelligence in all consciousness, the one among the many who fulfills desires, that cause, attainable by discernment and spiritual union, by knowing God, one is released from all restriction. There the sun does not shine, nor the moon and stars. Lightning does not shine, much less this fire. As it shines, so does everything else shine. This whole world is illuminated by its light. The one swan of being in the heart of this universe, this is the fire that has entered into the ocean. Only by knowing this does one transcend death. There is no other path for going there. That which is the creator of all-knowing, originating from itself, intelligent, creator of time, possessor of qualities, omniscient, is the ruler of primal matter and the field of understanding, Lord of the qualities, cause of reincarnation and liberation, of continuance and of bondage. This is the immortal, existing as the Lord, intelligent, omnipresent, protector of the universe, who constantly rules this world. Is there any other ruler than this? That which anciently created Brahma and gave him the Vedas, to that God who is the light of self-knowledge, do I, questing for liberation, go for refuge. To that which is without parts, without activity, peaceful, faultless, stainless, the supreme bridge to immortality, like a fire without smoke. When people roll up space like a skin, then there will be an end of evil without knowing God. By the efficacy of this discipline, and by the grace of God, the wise Svetasvatara correctly declared God to the students of the most advanced stage of discipline, which is well-pleasing to the company of seers. The supreme mystery in the end of the Vedas, which has been declared in former times, should not be given to one who is not peaceful, nor to anyone who is not a son or a pupil. If one has supreme devotion to God, and for one's teacher as much as for God, to this one these teachings which have been declared may become manifest in a great soul. Great soul.
Thank you, Niranjan Garu. It's a long one, but then so nice to hear the different manifestations. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Thank you. It's a good share.
Yeah.
It's a long one, but it's a good share. 29 minutes.
Yeah, I think all the Upanishads have been summarized. All the Vedas have been summarized into this, and so beautifully, line by line, rendition has been so nice. So now this is what the understanding of the Upanishads, all Upanishads together, take us to the path, how to transcend from the mortal to the immortal. Different ways in which the video has described is the one. I think we have been taken into that world a bit and understood that language, heard those words, heard those connects, and it's been such a wonderful